Now, Kaylin said that she has been experiencing paranormal things for a long time, but we're gonna go back to the beginning. So the first incident was in 2010 when her baby brother had just been born, and they lived in a one-story house on the far side of town where she said a lot of bad things would happen all the time. So apparently it was not a good area. So one night Kaylin is sleeping in her room, and all of a sudden she wakes up to this cackling sound, like somebody was laughing, and she could hear it from the corner of her room. It sounded like imagine that, except for a little bit more hoarseness to it. Mind you, it is 3 a.m. and she is absolutely terrified at this point. So she shoots up in bed, she's sitting up, she scans the room for whatever is going on, and she notices that across the room, there is this tall, dark figure that is crouching over in the corner like this. Now, she can't really see anything but a shadow at this point until all of a sudden a car drives by. And when the car drives by, its lights shine through the window. And what she sees is unbelievable. Now, what she sees, she can only describe as a demon. It was crouched over in the corner with its feet facing outward. It had long feet, long fingers, and its arms were wrapped around its stomach. It has horns on its head and then another smaller pair on its back. It had yellow slanted eyes, and she describes its skin complexion as like a sphinx cat. Is sphinx cat? Am I saying that right? Basically, its skin was like stretched out in some places and wrinkly in others, and its yellow eyes were super bloodshot. It also had this huge grin across its face. This grin that went from ear to ear that seemed impossible for anything to be able to do with its face. She then said that it said something to her, and she doesn't remember exactly what it says. All she remembers is that hoarse, crackly voice. And after it said whatever it said, it starts hysterically laughing. As it's doing this, it slowly stretches out its arms and it drops something on the floor as it's laughing hysterically with its arms stretched out like this. This thing was standing over an AC unit, so whatever it dropped to the AC unit, and she heard it clink to the floor. After she hears the clink of whatever it was, it jumps out of the window and she just starts screaming hysterically. Her mother runs in the room, asks her what's wrong, and she tells her what she just saw. And her mother's like, you just had a bad dream. But she knows that she didn't just have a bad dream because she was never jolted awake. She was awake the entire time. She somehow eventually falls back asleep. I don't know how these people do it, but she fell back asleep, and the next morning she wakes up, she goes over to the vent where she heard that clanking sound, and she finds a little penny, tails up, just like this. Here's the picture of it. She still has the penny to this day, so take a close look. She, for some reason, is terrified to get rid of this penny, and she doesn't know why. But ever since this happened till this day, she now has had several encounters with the paranormal. She was 8 years old. She moved to a different house, and there was an old lady named Edna that used to sit next to her bed and crochet every single night. This person was obviously not alive. It was something that she was just seeing. She said that the woman rarely spoke, but that she actually found out later that there was an old couple that used to live in that house.